Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, Grand Rising family. Listen, we have an amazing show set up for you today. We've been talking all last week about strategic planning for governing ourselves and the things that are important, things that are happening that are destroying Black communities around the country. And we have to make sure that we don't repeat that history. And what's interesting is that I was in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to tell a story when we come back after the break. So look, be a friend, tell a friend. I'm going to show a few short commercials and then a beautiful prayer. I'm going to come back and tell y'all about last night because we did some amazing networking last night and let you know what's next. And we're going to get into this story, but our brother is here and he wants to tell you about his real life story, his real life struggle against environmental injustice. We'll be right back.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee. And he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee. And I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings, family. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. You're tuned in, and I'm your host, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad, and we're talking this morning about environmental injustice. And so if you were tuned in last week and you learned about the issues of environmental injustice that exist around the country, you know what we're talking about. If you were not tuned in last week, I encourage you to go back and look at last week's show. Shortly after doing that show, actually one day after doing that show, I ended up in Houston, Texas, And I always talk about how your relationship with Allah or God has to be very personal. And so I'm always asking God, how do you want to use me? What do you want me to do today? What is it that I should be working on? What is it that I should be thinking about? And then I set intentions as I move forward. And when I got to Houston, I sat down and they told us that we're going to move our seats. And so I ended up sitting at the table with this brother. And the only reason why I went to that table was because his cowboy hat reminded me of my dad. Straight up. I said, oh, I'll go to this table over here. Sat down, and the brother has a life-changing experience that he's in the midst of surrounding the show that I had just did the day before, Environmental Injustice. And I believe this brother represents thousands of brothers and sisters around the country, not just in Houston, Texas, where he's from, but thousands around the country. Okay. So we're going to talk to him today. Before we do that, I'm giving y'all, I see y'all coming in the room. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. I'm going to give us time to get in. And I think I need to close my blind over there. But I'm going to come back. I'm going to take a quick break. Be a friend, tell a friend, get everybody in the room so we can get started, because you don't want to miss this. I'm going to come back. I'm going to read a little bit from a really well put together document that he gave me. And we're going to get into it. These are things that we all need to know. And we're going to start off the show. I want to begin by saying this. If you're an attorney that can help, brother, if you are a university, environmental injustice organization, the plea is out here, and he's going to share it. But we need people to support this brother. And we're going to show you and give you the information on how you can do it. We're going to put it in the chat. And yeah, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible...
We're back, and you're tuned into the Sajdah channel, and we're going to be talking to our brother Spencer Farwell this morning. Before we get into that, while you all are still coming in the room, thank you to everyone who attended our business networking event yesterday at Sajdah House, the Elijah Muhammad House. It was an amazing event. We had a lot of people that came out on a Thursday night. I made a mistake and didn't turn the air conditioner on until like 3 o'clock, not realizing that's a big house. So it was a little hot, but I'm going to fix that next time. I got y'all. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to everybody who was there, who participated. You all know we're still raising funds to complete the home. We're now in a space where it's become relatively urgent. And if you're looking to become a sponsor, or an investor, then you all know where to reach me. We'll give that information at the end of the show. But let's get into this right now. Okay. Brother Spencer gave me this document, and I'm just going to read the first paragraph, and then we're going to bring our brother on. Okay. And I'm going to I got his email address here, and I got his phone number here. So to help him, this is the number that you're going to call. But he called it a prima facie meritorious defense, a family's fight for justice. And when you hear this brother's story, his personal story, and what he had to overcome and learn just to be able to fight this story, is a powerful level of perseverance. This is what he says in the first paragraph. In the heart of Houston, Texas, in the Acres Homes community, a family's life was turned upside down by a silent killer, mold. What began as a seemingly modest HUD-subsidized apartment at the fountains of Tidwell quickly became a nightmare for my family. Although I was not living in the apartment, I had a duty to protect my family due to their severe health conditions. My partner, Selena McDade, I hope I'm pronouncing her name properly, and our children were on the HUD voucher program, and the apartment that was supposed to be a safe haven turned into a health hazard. The air they breathed was toxic, and the walls they called home were saturated with mold. The management's negligence nearly cost them their lives. There are thousands of us, and let me tell you something. Oftentimes, those of us in business, those of us in politics that are caught up with trying to do the right thing according to what these people say, we forget the people like Brother Spencer that I'm going to bring on today. And you're going to hear about his struggle. Let me read you one more paragraph, which is the executive summary that he has of the technical environmental assessment report. Okay, just setting the stage so that you all know what we're dealing with. This report provides an in-depth technical analysis of hazardous contaminants found at the Booker landfill and the adjacent property at 2303 West Tidwell Road. The investigation is based on available EPA and TCEQ public records, archived documents, community reports, and regulatory guidance. It specifically focuses on contaminants that present significant health risks to residents, particularly those benefiting from low-income housing voucher programs. We talked about those landfills. We have a famous one here at Altgeld Gardens in Chicago. So with that, I'm going to bring my brother onto the stage. How you doing, brother? Grand Rising?
Grand Rising. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to see you this morning. Thank you for coming on to talk about, what you're dealing with and what you've been going through.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to start off and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Spencer Farwell, and I'm from the Acres Home community in Houston, Texas, and I'm an auto mechanic. So,
you're an auto mechanic. How long your family been living in Acres Farms?
They've been here pretty much all our life.
Your whole life. And is there anything significant about Acres Farm that the audience should know? Because a lot of people may not have ever heard of that. It's historically Black, isn't it?
Yes, historically Black, and I think it's one of the largest Black communities, Acres Home community.
Okay, in Texas or Houston?
In Houston, Texas. Well, in the United States, one of the largest Black communities.
So you've been fighting this. Tell me what you've been fighting and what happened that made you start this fight. You said your daughter's life was almost lost. What in the world happened?
All right. It was like September of 2015. Selena was, they was probably finna move off kind of far from me because we wasn't on very good terms. And
That's
so That's my ex. So I told her if she found her apartment around here, close to the shop, I'll pay all the bills. She was trying to
Mm-hmm.
move like to Hockley, 290 area. And that was a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good jump for me to have to go visit my children, you know.
Okay. And how many children you guys have?
We have 3 kids.
3. Okay,
It's 2
got it.
girls and a boy.
Okay.
All right. And so she found this apartment in on Tidwell, the founders at Tidwell. And I went and checked it out. They were beautiful apartments. And you know, I loved it because it was less than 10 minutes away from my shop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Then
You own your
yes,
own auto mechanic shop?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it.
Well, I'm trying to put it together, you know. We've been working on it for years, but
No, the answer
yes,
is
ma'am.
yes. It don't matter. Yeah.
But and another part was, you know, Selena, her job was like within walking distance from my shop. Both jobs. She worked. She was a manager at French's Chicken, and then she worked at the school in the cafeteria.
Okay.
So in September 15, when I moved her into the fountains, after about 6 months, 7 months, she started, you know, getting weak and just started having issues.
Getting sick and y'all
Yes,
didn't know what
and I used to have to, you know, she used to drive to work, but you'd have to call the ambulance from work to pick her up sometime.
mm,
Just because she was just that bad. And
mm,
you know, at first, I didn't know what was going on. I just know she was just getting sick.
mm-hmm,
I took her to like every hospital that's around here in the area, like maybe 5 or 6 different hospitals,
mm-hmm,
and everyone was saying pneumonia, pneumonia. So I had a friend of mine that say, "Man, you ought to go check for mold."
mm.
And so when I went in the apartment, you know, I've been going in this apartment, but this time when I went in looking for mold, man, mold was everywhere, all throughout the vents. I didn't never send you a copy of pictures, but man, mold. It was so much mold in this apartment to where I did a home mold test. And the home mold test, when I got it back, it said it was a abundance of mold presence.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it to the maintenance. So the maintenance came in, the management came in, they cleaned the vents. They told them everything is all good. You can come on back home.
Mm-hmm.
Took her back home like 4 months later. She got really sick again. So I had to take her back to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I called the inspectors out, the professionals, Aggie inspector group. And they came out
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lady. And she said, Mr. Farwell, you need to get your family out of here until this management addresses this mold problem. Issue. It was a
Mm.
big issue. So I
Okay.
gave that report to the maintenance and the management.
Okay.
So they went in again and did the same stuff, cleaned and painted over the walls, and they put brand new vents this time. They called
Mm-hmm.
her back and told her a unit was ready. But this time, I say I need to get the mold people back out here and let the specialists tell me that
So
this
this is a
apartment is
HUD
safe.
subsidized apartment, right?
Yes,
And so it should be subject to some kinds of inspection, right?
yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come in and inspect, they just inspect to see if the lights work, the water work, plumbing work. They don't
Mm-hmm.
go to the air condition to see if there's anything going on with the air condition.
Okay.
Yes, I have a bunch of documents where I've been in a battle with them too, trying to
Mm-hmm.
get them to.
You've been fighting HUD also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Man, I've
Go
been
ahead.
fighting everybody that you can imagine in 8 years. I've been doing this for 8 years. You know, and when I started off, you know, I was barely reading and writing, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, I used to have to get people to read the stuff for me to explain to me what's going on and what
So
this
you taught
means.
yourself to read and write through this
Yes,
process?
ma'am. I had to teach
Great.
myself to read, to write, you know, once I got into, I managed to find an attorney after that second mode test.
Yeah.
I found an attorney. The name was Craig L. Rushing, and he assured me we were gonna win this case
Mm-hmm.
because of all the evidence that I had, all the pictures, the
Right.
mode test.
Right.
So he came on May of 2020, 2017. May of 2017 came on. He
Okay.
filed a lawsuit. I mean, you know, the lawsuit was going good. It was going so good to where I don't know if you ever heard of like if you have a lawsuit going and you go to a lending company, they'll lend you money
Oh,
until your
right.
lawsuit settles. So
Mhm.
Selena was getting money from a lending company called Oasis Lending Company. So every other month they was giving her money. And
Because they
so
knew.
we had this.
Now, was the mode limited to just your apartment, or is it
No,
the whole
ma'am, it was on the whole
neighborhood?
complex, the whole
Oh,
188 units. The whole
whoa.
188 unit was mold infested.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. And
The
you
lawsuit's
know,
going good. She getting paid from Oasis.
yeah, she was getting paid from Oasis. And my lawyer, Craig Russian, June of 2018, he went in on the hearing and filed a motion to non-suit without us even knowing. So he stopped our case. And on the very next day, he filed a motion to reinstate it. So
So,
all
do
this
you
time,
think that somebody got to him, or what do you think happened?
ma'am, I think they got to him because once he filed a motion to all right, June the 18th, he filed a motion to non-suit. At first, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what that meant, but I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was to this degree. And on the very next
Mm-hmm.
day, he filed a motion to reinstate the case. So I'm like, why would he do that? But it was just to stop the money from the Oasis that she was getting, the loan company.
Oh,
And then
got it.
months later, he withdrew off the case without us even knowing.
Mm.
And so I've been fighting this case by myself without an attorney, and
So
that's
let
been
me
since
ask you this.
2020.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We got 188 or 80 apartments that are affected in this complex.
Yes,
It used to be a nice looking place. But all of a sudden now you trying to get some justice, you trying to get people to fix it, but everybody's afraid. What's the backstory that's getting everybody afraid? Who owns this complex? Where is it? What is it?
this the complex is owned by a pastor by the name of Isaac Lee Matthews,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess when he bought the property, he put it on this program, the LARA program, the Land Use Restricted Agreement. So
Okay.
it's like the state gives him money to do whatever he wants on that property, and
Mm-hmm.
then for like 15, 20 years, the states gets their money off the top. And then after they get all their money, then everything belongs to him, the property and the establishment.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a long-term land agreement.
Yes, that's what it's called, land use, it's called the LARA, Land
Okay.
Use Restricted Agreement. And
Okay.
he also had it on it was also tax credit property.
Okay.
And I found some paperwork to where when I can't tell you how long he had the property, but I found some paperwork where he used to have an environmental company come keep it maintained
Yeah.
before he built the apartments on top of it.
Is it a landfill?
Yes, ma'am. It's definitely a landfill. And I think it's the epicenter of one of those 32 that I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. See, right now I'm focused on the Booker landfill because that's the only one that was ran. There was it was a municipal landfill. That's the only one they have a record because the city of Houston ran that one.
Mm-hmm.
But all the rest of the one was like mom and pop landfills.
Okay. So you got the pastor. I'm assuming he's one of us. He's a
Yes,
black man. He buys
yes,
this land, gets a LoRa contract, but it's landfill, it's toxic land.
yes,
So something's funky about the testing and all of that stuff that goes on
yes,
there. And so I'm assuming that he had to be connected to, this is just me assuming, some politician or have some connections in order to even get that contract and get that program.
yes.
And I don't know if he knew that he shouldn't be putting people to live on top of this landfill, but now you're trying to sue and you're getting all this pushback, and everybody seems like nobody wants to touch it. Is
Nobody
it that
want
the
to touch.
so powerful, or is it the politicians he's connected to that's powerful?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: we have the late Sheila Jackson Lee, and then we
Mm-hmm.
have the late Mayor Sylvester Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they all of them were friends.
Okay.
So they just passed away last year.
With,
from cancer.
okay.
Yes, they passed away from cancer also. So I've been hollering
Mm,
about this cancer cluster we've been having right here in my community, but they've been
mm-hmm.
looking it over because it's their fault. See,
Mm,
the cancer clusters that we have in Cashmere Garden is being blamed on Union Pacific, the railroad.
mm-hmm.
That's why they're all on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. But does politicians, I'm talking about like each and every one of my city leaders that I've reached out to has turned a blind eye to this
Mm,
situation. And
mm,
like that meeting that I met you at, they didn't want me
mm-hmm.
there. I was invited there, but they didn't know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't know
Okay.
what I was gonna say. And it's like right now, I'm running with Rob. I'm running with him because he's the only one that sounds like that he's gonna try and make change in my community.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
But
And
the
he's running for what position is he running for?
uh 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 Congress, 18th,
Congress.
yeah, the 18th district.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Shout out to Rob. I met Rob. He's
yeah,
a good.
yeah. He's a pretty good old fella. I can tell
So
you
now,
that.
how's Selena doing now? And did it
Right?
affect your children?
Yes. Right now, Selena is 100% disabled, and
Mm,
my daughter is disabled, but she had a like kidney failure, so she's been on
mm.
dialysis for years. And
How old is
last
she?
year, uh, Kiara is 23.
Okay. Mm,
She's no, she stayed on dialysis for quite some time, and last year the doctor called and said we found her some kidneys, a matching
mm,
kidney. So we took her down March of last year, and she went through that transplant surgery.
mm.
And that's when I ran into. That's when I ran into. I thought this was gonna get nipped in the bud when I ran into Cornell X, brother
Mm,
Cornell X,
mm-hmm.
because
What
during,
happened with that?
ma'am.
What happened with that connection?
Well, that was during the time my baby was in the hospital, and she was having that surgery. And Cornell X, he was charging me 2,500 to make him bring this case to mediation. After I showed him all this evidence that I had, oh, he say, "Black man, we're gonna make him sell this. We gonna make him bring him to mediation." But man, he just took my money and turned a blind eye to this day. He just got my money and won't. He sent me a message the other day, but he didn't. He told me to call him, but he didn't answer.
So this must be so this landfill, this connection, there must be some serious government connections and people really trying to hide this.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm assuming then it's not just the complex, maybe even because you said there's a number of different landfills around there.
Yes, it's a number of different landfills, and this is just one of the apartment complex I'm mentioning. But the pastor has 4 establishments on that street. And all of them is built on or near the landfill.
And are other people getting sick?
Yes, ma'am. And the
So
people
this
that the people that I've talked to that's really bad off, they're really scared to come forward because they're scared they're gonna get retaliated against. Some people are like, man, if I get kicked out of here, where we gonna go? We know it's bad over here, but where we gonna go? And it's like it just make you cry when you go over there,
mm,
man. That's why, man.
mm,
8 years I've been fighting, man. I haven't took a break. I haven't. I'm a trail rider. I trail ride every year, 7 days, man. I haven't did this in 8 years.
mm.
My whole life has just been trying to focus on learning how to read, learning how to write this motion to the court, wondering what to do next because no one will help me. No lawyer, no advice. Man, thank God for AI. I can ask AI something and they'll tell me the truth. But
Mhm.
right now, I can't even call the court right now and ask them a question. I call the court to ask about my motion that's pending. They won't even tell me nothing about it. It's just
So it's
that
a
bad. That's why I really need some legal help.
yeah,
You know?
that's what you need. You need a
That's the
legal person
most. Yes,
not gonna be scared.
the most. And it's like what I found out that all of them have in common is all of them is a part of this Texas Bar Association.
Mm,
All of them had to go through that. So it's like a whole gang in itself, a whole union in itself. Because I
mm-hmm,
filed a complaint on the judge, my lawyer, The defense lawyer, his lawyer submitted false documents to the court, and I have proof right here. Everything I'm telling you, I have proof of, and it's back in the court trying to get challenged, but they don't want to hear it because I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
Doing
ma'am.
all this by yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing it all by myself. Everything. Yes, ma'am. The filing, and then once I go up there, they just tell me the reason they don't want to talk to me because every time I go, I record now. So every time they lie to me, I got them in so many lies on record, it don't make sense. So that's why they don't answer the phone because they know I'm recording.
And
No.
HUD, what's going on with HUD? Because if most of these buildings are HUD subsidized buildings and people are living there, they're literally dying and getting sick, and you got cancer, kidney failure, all of this stuff. What is the federal HUD organization saying?
Well, I tell you what, the president of HUD, they just fired him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was letting a whole lot of stuff go through. They had a big project. There was a $400 million HUD subsidized apartment that they built on top of toxic ash. City of Houston incinerated toxic ash. And they built it, they completed the project, and they was finna open it up in January. And our mayor stopped it because it was built on toxic ash. And then the president for the housing, he was aware of it. Yeah, that's why they pretty much got him out.
So they don't come out and do inspections?
And they do, but they don't look for. They try to keep us under the rug. This here. Yes, ma'am. And then a regular apartment, like I say, or like a regular housing apartment, they just go make sure the lights come on, make sure the toilet don't shake, make sure the showers work and the water. That's it, and they walk out of there. They don't do nothing else. Yes, ma'am.
So what do you need? What can we put out here that you need? I know you said you need legal help, and your daughter found kidneys, which is a blessing.
Yes, it's a blessing.
And
ma'am, right now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right now, ma'am, I could use just a little financial support to finish my investigation because I can't stop. I can't stop because I can't stop and I can't just settle. Because the people over there, if I just settle, what about them? So I'm trying to fix it to where I can get my family took care of and I can try to get these people relocated at least. Because that's what needs to happen. New vouchers, relocation, and they probably sitting around thinking that it's gonna be done on the city dollar, but I don't want it to be done on the city dollar to make taxpayer dollars go up. I want it to be done on this pastor dollar and this billionaire developer by the name of Walter Barry Kahn. He a billionaire, the one that he built it and he manages it. Remember I was telling you how they kept telling her, Selena, your apartment is ready. You can come back home.
Yes.
The Walter Barry Coons, that's the management company that was telling her that it was ready. Like I say, we need to shut it down.
So okay, I see what's happening. You got the politicians, you got the billionaire, you got the pastor. Because I think you went to your church and couldn't understand why your church wouldn't even do anything about it, right?
Yes. I went to church, and when I really figured out why the church wouldn't do nothing about it, it's because my pastor and the pastor that I'm suing were good friends. The pastor I'm suing, I heard, sent him to school, the pastor. And that's how close they were. And now I found out like 2 weeks ago, years and years and years ago at Carver High, my pastor and this pastor I'm suing worked for the same district years ago. That's before he was a millionaire. Yeah. But when he became a millionaire, he started doing the daycares, and then he ran into the billionaire, Walter Barry Kahn. He started buying the land, the property. And by him being familiar with this area, he knew that was a landfill. Both of them. Especially when they was green.
How old are they?
Ma'am?
About how old are these apartments?
These apartments were built in 2004.
Okay.
Like that, like when
Okay.
you're
So
reading
that,
that paper right there, before they built those apartments, the EPA and TCEQ was out here. They did an assessment. I have that report too, and it's a lot of
yeah, I
stuff
see.
they have redacted in that report. But by me being here
Mm,
51 years, I know the streets they talking about that got redacted. That's where they found the toxic stuff.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the report here where they came out, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality Standards.
Yes, and
The-
during that time, our state representative Jarvis Johnson, he was our city council leader during that time. While that was
mhm,
taking place, while the apartments were getting built, he was our. I reached out to him in 2020, and he was one of the leaders that promised me that he was going to help Selena get disability.
mhm,
But he turned a blind eye also. All my
mhm.
city leaders, every last one of them, man. I have receipts. That's why I'm glad after this show, I'm finna start my show every day after yours. At
Mhm.
7. Mine gonna start at 7. I'm gonna start my YouTube because I've been had a channel, but I didn't know how to work it.
Well, now
So
you
that's
know
why
how to.
I went to TikTok, and that's why I've been on TikTok. But my YouTube, that's where it's at. But
Well, do
yes,
both
ma'am.
of TikTok and YouTube. You got to keep speaking. Don't stop talking. Keep getting the word out there. And I'm going to send you a copy of this so that we can help you with the recording, the different questions. I'm going to ask you some more about these cases, but I just want to let you know to just keep going. I think I may have shared this with you when we were sitting there at the table, but if I didn't, I'll tell you now. I've been working on some very significant stuff like restoring the historic home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's been very difficult. So I know what it's like when you feel and you can feel that hidden hand attacking every aspect of your life. But I got a message from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan the other day, and I want to share it with you. And he said to me that when you have a relationship with God, you are never alone. So you're not by yourself.
Man.
You just keep going. Just like God told me, come over there and sit there. I don't know what's going to become of this. I'm just being obedient and making sure that I do what I felt like he told me to do. He said, go sit over there and go talk to this brother. It was 10 people at the table.
Yes.
And so now we're here today. I don't know where it's going to go, but I want you to start your TikTok, start your YouTube, and just start talking about it every single day. We need to write letters all the way up to the President of the United States.
Yes.
And just keep praying and keep going. Now tell me about this this Union Pacific issue that you all were talking about at the table.
Yes, they got a creosote issue in Cashmere Gardens. The creosote, that's what they put on the telephone post to keep them from rotting.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them from rotting, when they're in the ground.
Yeah.
And what happened, that poison spread throughout the soil and caused cancer. It's a cancer causing agent. So it's like everybody around that rail yard, it's probably further than they trying to make it seem, because those posts are everywhere with the creosote all through Houston. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what that was about. That cancer cluster, and it's in
But
2021. I was on Facebook, and I had a Mr. Johnson call me because we've been communicating because he was asking questions,
who's
and I
Mr. Johnson?
found out
Who's Mr.
that he used to work for, ma'am.
Who's Mr. Johnson?
Ma'am, it's a guy from my community, and
Okay.
he said he used to work for the creosote plant
Mm-hmm.
that in Cashmere Garden. And
Mm-hmm.
he said when he told me they used to dump their excess waste into the Booker landfill, the same one I had closed, you know, right there at Roslyn Road and Tidwell, they built like a dozen a $300,000 home right there on that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched them build it. I took pictures when they poured the slabs. I watched them until it was complete. So what they did, they tried to extend those backyards because these people pay so much money for these houses, they didn't have a backyard. So once they
Mm-hmm.
tried to extend, the tractors, once they went and dig in the back, trash was out. I don't know if you went down if you go on my YouTube page, it's all on my
Okay.
YouTube page.
Okay.
And my YouTube page is Spencer Farwell FSI.
Okay. I'll put that up here. Keep going.
Yes, ma'am. And that's when I did a little protesting while they were digging. I was out there protesting. But so I called the EPA and I sent this the inspector. His name was Brett Kendricks. He the regional supervisor for this whole region 6. So I sent him all those. That's who sent me all the documents from TCEQ and the EPA and all that. So when I sent him the picture of them digging trash out the ground, they made them cover it back up and they put a fence around it. To this day, it's got a fence around it. I've been at it since. I've been at it. Yes.
And then didn't they have a wreckage at the rail yard that just spilled out a bunch of stuff and left it there?
You know, yes, that's what Rob told me. He was right there when that train fell and it spilled out some stuff. And they were trying to hide it. They didn't call the news or I don't know. I don't know anything about that because I didn't get into that one. But Rob was telling me about he was supposed to come meet me. He supposed to come to my shop to meet me, but he was held up because of that train.
Okay.
That derailed.
Got it. Okay.
But they good for that, trying to keep stuff under the rug. And like this here is like the best well-kept secret. Them building on top of that dump. And you know, in my investigation, they referred to that area over there as a garden. Highlands Garden. And I'm like, why do they call it a garden? They don't call like where my shop at, they don't this you can get this here on HCAD. But over there, you gotta go look somewhere else to see that property.
So let me ask you this. You haven't even gotten any news coverage. The news cameras won't come out and see it because you got pictures of all the mold in the.
Ma'am, I don't know if you've seen this one, but I went to City Hall after I realized that I could file a claim against the city for my family. I went and did that. It was too late, but I still went and did it anyway. And just so happened the day I went, the news and everybody was there, and so it was all on live TV. Me making a complaint on national TV about this.
Okay.
And ma'am, they tried it. The mayor walked out on me. Mayor Whitmire walked out when it was my time to talk. Because somebody gave him heads up of what I was finna talk about, and he just didn't want to hear it. Yes, ma'am. And so, you know, another thing I forgot to tell you, you know, while I'm fighting this case, and the court clerk tampered with the record, and I filed a lawsuit on her in federal court, and our very own Harris County Attorney's Office, Kristen Manafee, has been fighting me. Instead of helping me, I'm a taxpayer. He's supposed to be helping me. So when the court clerk took Selena McDay's all her medical records, all the letters I was trying to let the judge know the fraud that was going on in the court, Kristen Manafee's defending her right now. He got a qualified immunity in 2023. So when I got up to speak at the meeting where I saw you, and I told him Kristen Manafee, he's one of the ones that's running against Rob. And he's fighting me in court on some environmental, you know. And he's so big on it, going on all these radio shows talking about what he gonna do. But I'm telling you, we got a cancer cluster right here, but they don't want to hear me.
Yeah, we have to continue to speak out and get those type of officials out of office and not let them run. People got to step up, and we got to go get them out of there.
Yes,
because
we have to get them out.
If there's this type of cover up, and you have this type of collusion, then we have to figure out how to penetrate that, as well as getting your letters and your whole package all the way up throughout everybody in the government area. And we have to. And here's the other thing. I was thinking about when you were just talking about a campaign, because there's Black people with money in Houston. And part of the challenge where people don't want to speak out because they're afraid, they don't know where else they're going to go. They're worried about, you know, they can't afford rent maybe in certain area. These are people that need help. You sat there and taught yourself how to read and write and fight this case. But a lot of people don't have that kind of gumption. So even working with, there's got to be some organization there in Houston that will work with you, that maybe we can even relocate these people, because they got to get up out of there. There's
You
no.
got to get up. That's exactly, ma'am. Ma'am, it's just say right now, when it get daylight, just if I jump in my van right now and ride through there, ma'am, it's horrible. And just to know that a pastor of God is attached to this. See, in 2018, he sold the fountains at Tidwell. So they call them Fairfield fountains. But he didn't sell the property. He couldn't sell that property. He had to protect what's under that ground. He couldn't get that up. So that's why he's still attached to it right now today. And it's right now it's registered to his $1 million spread right here in my community. Right down the street from Sylvester Turner Park.
He don't live in the community, I'm assuming.
He once he opened that church up, he built a mega. I ain't gonna say it's a mega church, but it's a pretty big church right here on my main street in Acres Homes. They just had a parade going to the church. Juneteenth parade.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm so hate I missed it because the pastor was. I seen him on the thing waving. I could have been out there waving back at him because he promised me he was gonna get Selena a GoFundMe in 2000. That's one of the reasons I filed a lawsuit on him in federal court. He promised he was gonna get a GoFundMe set up for her to help pay her bills. But it was during election time in 2020. So if you see my page right now, how I'm just everywhere with this here story, I was everywhere, and I wasn't this far, but I was probably a quarter where I am now. But they were trying to vote. And so when he throwed that, well, I'm finna get her a GoFundMe, that made me stop and let him go on vote. I just, for 2 months, I ain't do nothing, just knowing that we finna get some help. After they voted him in, and they voted him in at the church. They used the church. Man, that's why it's not a church. It's a den within equity. It's not a church. They do city business at that church. They do, that's if Jesus came, he probably go flip. He probably do that scene right there at that church. Flip everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them scenes, but that's a whole nother story there. But I just pray that they get it right, because they playing with God right now, what they doing. Because these children need help over here, man. I seen one. It's been about a couple months with the snot coming, the green stuff. I was talking. They moved out of that apartment on that bio, but she was telling me about her water. She said, when I first turned my water on, Pancho, it'd be brown when I first. I'm trying to brush my teeth. I had to let it run first. It's bad over there, man. I mean, it's like they drinking that water, and the water has never been tested. And I think I'm the only one to test the air. When I did my mold test, I did the mold test, they say mold is everywhere. I agree. They say maybe 200 to 300 is in every house. Over there in that area outside is 6,000.
Ooh.
So if it's 6,000 outside and you open that door and all that wind and all those spores come in your house, going straight to your air conditioner because it's pulling, they not maintaining the thing. That's why, man, I'm gonna send you some pictures, and you might not eat breakfast after I send you these pictures of the HVAC system. Yes, ma'am. But it's really bad over there. It's bad, and all I ask them to do, just drive through. That's why I've been asking all my city leaders, just drive through. Man, the mold so bad, they got the double pane windows. The inside is hollow.
Yes.
The mold is growing in the inside. They can't even wipe it. That's why the structure, they gotta tear it down. They have to tear it down, man.
And there's elementary schools over there?
No, it's not an elementary school over there.
So
they got like little daycare schools.
Where they go?
Like daycare. The school is not. The schools are not in that area right there. Where them 31 dots at. There's no schools, just churches, daycares, and little stuff like businesses.
So
like
children that live in that area, they get bussed out somewhere else?
Ma'am?
The children that live in those apartment complexes in that area where those 13 dots are, they get bussed outside that area?
Yeah, they get bussed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They get busted. Well, I just need somebody to. I know this is big. That's why nobody don't want to help, because this is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then trying to get help from anybody in the city, you know who they have to go through to do anything. They have to go through the city of Houston to get any permit. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like if they come help me, they're gonna be going against the city, and they need the city. That's why nobody wants. That's why I have to probably get help outside of Texas. That's probably the only way I'm gonna get some help is find an attorney that can come in.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm gonna tell you, if a lawyer come in and just sign on this case, they're gonna sell it tomorrow. And this, I got the court set up like that. The guardian showed me how to write like Johnny Cochran. Telling you. And guess what else? Look here. Man, I was telling you about my manuscript. This
Mm-hmm.
it. But you know, I ran out of money, and I can't trust anybody with it, so I just been holding it so I can get a big break to try to get it published. But this here, everything is in here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that everybody that took money from me, every city leader is here.
You wrote that, Spencer?
Yes, ma'am. This is my autobiography.
Look at
And
that.
it's called A Prima Facie Meritorious Defense Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 1, The Unfolding Truth.
Well, this is what I want you to do while you're still fighting the fight. I want you to stay on TikTok and stay on YouTube. Keep telling your story every day. Keep reaching out, because one of the things we want to do is give people an avenue to hear the story,
yes,
and to reach out. And keep doing that. Every day you should be doing an hour, 30 minutes on TikTok. Take your camera, go walk through the area, show your pictures, whether it's TikTok, YouTube. In the meanwhile, keep fighting, but keep putting your request out there. I need an organization that's going to support. I need an attorney. We need to relocate these citizens. Let's keep putting it out there, because I don't believe that God is going to forsake you.
No, ma'am, I don't think so. And what I do believe, I believe he brought me this far so it can get this big, so something can be done about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And he can get the glory.
I agree.
Yeah, like I told him, I'm ready now. Because at first he wouldn't let nobody help me, but now I told him, Lord, I need some help now because I don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
And I have a new judge. But I don't know what she's gonna do. If she's gonna dismiss the case. But the way I set up the motion to show cause, I asked for a federal investigation to open up against the fraud that's been perpetuated in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Spencer,
That's why I sent you to your. I sent that to your.
I got that.
Yeah, that's the motion that's pending in the court.
Mm-hmm. No, I got it. I seen it.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on today. Please stay in touch and let me know. Send me your TikTok channel.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I can start forwarding some of those videos. But I want you just sharing this with the world. But use a couple of platforms, because if somebody get to TikTok and they block you, then you got YouTube happening. You know, They like to shadow ban. You know, since I've been talking about this stuff about what's happening in a lot of these Black settlements, I got a note from Meta saying that my content was violating community guidelines, and that it could not be seen by anybody who does not follow me, which means they're not sending it outside the circle.
That's what I'm going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
They got me shadow banned. But if you ain't seen my TikTok, it's gonna blow your mind.
Okay, I'm gonna go check it out. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna help spread the word. If I was in Texas, I probably could do more, but maybe this is good that you need some help outside of Texas.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep spreading the word. I couldn't just look at you and listen to your story and not try to figure out what I could do to help. And I pray that there's more people like that, because we can't call ourselves Christians. We can't call ourselves Muslims. We can't call ourselves humanitarians if we're not helping the least of these people like yourself, who had the wherewithal to teach themselves to read and write, but probably more people in those homes who can't read, can't write, can't fight for themselves. We have to step up and speak for those people, or else we're not doing what we say we're supposed to do, what we say we are.
Yes.
So I'm going to say to you, congratulations in advance. We're going to write this history.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations to you in advance. Congratulations on getting people relocated. Congratulations on finding a lawyer. We're going to just celebrate now because I know for a fact you're going to be successful. You're going to be back on the show talking about everything you went through. You're going to find a publisher for your book. You're going to have a movie.
Man, hey, I forgot to tell you that. I already got my movie script wrote. I got my documentary wrote. I'm just trying to find some help to help me get it out there. That's it.
Let me ask you this one question before we go, Spencer. How did you teach yourself how to read and write?
Man, I guess like this is my laboratory right here.
Okay, I see it.
You know, and so at first I used to when I downloaded Microsoft, I just let it read to me, just let it read to me. You know, I probably had like about a 6th grade education where I can just barely pronounce stuff and, barely get by. But for this court stuff, the court stuff and trying to say the court stuff and trying to get it right like a lawyer. Yes, I had to learn. And it took nights and nights of crying and begging to the Lord. And that's why I asked the Lord, don't let me just win. Teach me. Teach me how to write the motions. And ma'am, I'm telling you, straight up talking to me, it's kind of tough, but you let me put my mind and start typing on them keys. You see that article? I call it Article Acres Home. Yes, ma'am. Where do you hear this though?
Okay.
Where do you hear that? It's coming soon.
I got that in the back of my mind. We're gonna help. We got to get through these other stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Help you get that movie script and that book out. We're gonna figure that out.
Yes, ma'am.
So just know that God is with you. You are not walking alone. Sometimes you know how it says in the Bible, be and it is. So we have to become something because you're going to get the credit for this and helping to save all those people, generations of people that are right there in Acres Home. So, and give your daughter and your family, your ex, my love, and that we're going to help raise some awareness. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
God bless you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Look at that. A real live case of environmental injustice. We just literally talked about this, and we're meeting somebody who is going through that this very day. Real live time. You got politicians that are in collusion, that are fighting against him. You got local community people who don't want to rattle any cages and don't want to mess up their paychecks. Meanwhile, we have people on subsidized housing, people that we call ourselves speaking for the poor, people who can't read and write in this situation, and we're leaving them to rot and die. And Acres Homes is not the only, this area in Acres Homes is not the only place in the United States of America where we see that. I was mentioning this show yesterday to Brother Yahya Muhammad, the owner of Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream, and he said that's what happened at Oakdale Gardens. You drive past there, you smell that stench where they built those apartments, those complexes, and always there's subsidized housing projects where you can go with a voucher. This is a whole federal government cover up that is killing and hurting our people. And then we get these deals. We come in as pastors, as ministers, as business people, and we say, oh, I want one of these vouchers, or I want to get this grant to develop this land. And they tell you with this grant, this is an economic zone district or whatever they call it around the country or federally. And then you feel like, okay, I got this land, I got the grant, but not knowing that it has been a toxic waste dump. And now they expect you to be the steward, you and your blackface, to be the steward of these grant programs where they build these subsidized housing and put people right on top of them. They got new construction going on over there, but sometimes there's no testing. And if there is testing, oftentimes it's altered. So I'm saying that to say, in light of our strategic planning for separation, be mindful, because sometimes people will give you land, right? But it's on a toxic waste. It's poisonous water. It's all of this stuff that we need to be paying attention to. But we get so caught up in, oh, but I got several $1 million from the state, several $1 million from the city to put up this opportunity zone or this housing zone. And we think we the czar, but yet we're contributing to erasing some of our people right off the planet. So these are things that we have to be mindful of. I literally was just talking to somebody the other day who was applying for a grant that was supposed to go to people who were minorities in their city so that they could build housing. And it was a partnership with HUD. And the first thing I told her, I said, make sure the water and the land is tested. She went in and paid for her own independent testing and found out that there was, I think, radon in the ground. So, let's be mindful of this, because we get caught up because we want to be a developer. We want to be the one with the land. We want the apartments. We want the businesses. We have to pay attention to so many things. We have to strategically think. All right, family. So go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises, support the program. We're going to continue to bring programs like this to you. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be talking to Marquita Brooks. She is a prophet with I forget the name of her church. Please forgive me. I don't have her information in front of me. But Marquita, I also met at this conference that I spoke at. And you're going to learn about her wealth programming, her wealth ministry that she has together. She's got some amazing books. And we just going to keep networking and keep working this program. I personally believe that it's time for us to unite. We have to start dropping these labels, these things that they use to package us: Muslim, Christian, young, old, this organization, that organization. And let's start working the basic tenets of the program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is to do for self, to unite, to pool our resources, 6 or 8 of us go into business together, stop wanton criticism of one another. These are the things that we have to do. We got to come together and help one another. There's too many of us out here losing things because we're by ourselves. This brother could have lost his family. His ex and their children could have died. But so you got to we have to start stepping up and supporting one another. None of us can do this by ourselves. So it might be you that need help today. It might be me that needs help tomorrow. Or it could be me that needs help today and you that needs help tomorrow. This is the type of world that we're living in today. And the only way you can really kind of exist in your rugged individualism by yourself is to just go be a hermit somewhere. And even with that, you might be a hermit in a toxic waste dump. So we all have to know how to support one another. Unity is so critical and it's so important. We were talking yesterday at the networking event that I had about certain communities and how the people come together no matter what. They support one another, help each other out. And these are the things that we have to do. And because we're battling huge forces against us, it takes those of us, a number of us, to band together and to support one another. So I resonated with brother because I know what it's like to have every aspect of your life under attack because you're trying to do something good, trying to do something more than what is expected of you. And so here this brother is, he reminded me of the ancestors, taught himself how to read and write to fight for his family. So may Allah bless him. I want everybody to do what you can to support. If you know any environmental organization that can assist, let me put his number back up here again. If you know any environmental agencies, if you know any college organizations, sometimes those people, those groups can help. If you know any attorneys that are not going to be afraid, that can help to represent him. We got to get him the support that he needs. And he does deserve some financial compensation. So I don't know if his lawsuit includes that. An attorney would need to look at that, but he should be paid, and those people should be relocated off of those toxic waste dumps there in Houston and around the country. All right. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Make sure you come on, be a friend, tell a friend, support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. We just worked out, we expanded the sponsorship agreement or sponsorship opportunities. We also are working through putting some investment opportunities together. We had a networking ice cream social yesterday. We're going to be doing that once a month. And we're also going to be doing some live coffee talks there at the house. So we got a lot of things planned coming up. We need your continued support. And we're going to continue to try to bring what we can to help serve and support the community. All right. So anyway, with that, I'm going to show you all a quick commercial, and we're going to go out on this commercial. You've seen it already, but it ain't going to hurt to look at it again because it's amazing. And we'll see you all, inshallah, tomorrow morning. Let me make sure you all know how you can support. You can just go to ElijahMuhammadHouse.com, put that, and it'll show you how you can donate, how you can support. If you want to become a sponsor, you can send us an email, sajdahhouse@gmail.com, and we can go from there. All right, family. But this brother then blew me away this morning. I can't imagine being in a helpless situation and going through that, and you didn't even know how to read and write. That's like living in a fog, and you just don't, or being dropped in a foreign country, and you just don't really know what to do. All right, family. Peace and blessings. Love you all.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible